Alrighty, guys, I once again went 4-2 of my 6 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And the only way you would have been able to access all of those plays is to become a board member on my website. Now, the board member package gives you access to every single bet, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. It's an all-inclusive, all-access membership that actually works out to be just $1.66 a day if you sign up here today. And at an average of 4 to 6 plays I post a day, you're actually looking at roughly 33 cents a pick over the course of a 30-day span, give or take. And before we go ahead and move on here, guys, just want to take a brief time out and welcome you to my college basketball video here today for Friday, January 6, 2023. Happy Friday to you. The weekend's finally here. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been doing sports picks for free on YouTube since 2016. And once again, guys, if you want to see which one of these free picks on my videos that I'm actually betting on personally, the best way to do that is to become a board member on patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some college basketball action. Not a huge slate here tonight, a lot of smaller schools, but we're going to take a look at Quinnipiac taking on Rider, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Rider is the 1.5-point favorite at home, totals 141. And even though Rider's favored at home here, they have been a little threat shooting the long ball this year. These guys are making just 31% of their three-pointers. When it comes to defensive play, oddly enough, the Bronx are actually having a tough time guarding the three-pointer. They have one of the higher defensive three-point percentages in the conference. Now they're facing a Quinnipiac team who scores over 73 points a game, and they do a nice job shooting from long range. Desi Jones is draining over 42% of his three-pointers. He's also averaging double-digit points a night. Meanwhile, Ike Nwike is averaging nearly a dozen points a game himself. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, the Bobcats are a top 35 rebounding team in the country on the offensive end of the court. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, actually, is that on the offense or the defense? I think that's on the defensive end of the court. But regardless, they can definitely bring down boards. Sorry about that. I forgot to indicate whether that was offensive or defensive in my notes. But regardless, they're good underneath the basket. That's all you need to know. When it comes to the total, Quinnipiac saw overs in 5 out of their last 6. Meanwhile, Rider saw overs against the likes of Georgia, Marist, and Monmouth. I'm going to lean toward Quinnipiac plus 1.5, over 141. Next ball game, it is going to be Harvard Brown, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Harvard's the 1.5-point favorite. Total's 126 and a hook. Now, Harvard did take the loss in 3 out of their last 5. Losses to the likes of Princeton, Kansas, and Howard. They were also held to just 58 points a game in those defeats. Is Howard right? Did they really lose to Howard? Wow. And even though the Crimson plays some pretty tough defense, these guys have been no threat shooting the long ball offensively. They're making only 28% of their three-point shots. They're facing a Brown team who plays some pretty tough defense themselves. Bears allow only 64 points a game. Meanwhile, as a team, Brown got the W in 6 out of their last 9. Keno Lilly is scoring over 15.5 points a game, and he's also making nearly 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Paxson Wojcik averages over a dozen points a game. Now, total-wise, Brown went 9-1 to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Harvard's 10-3 to the under in their last 13 qualifying ball games. I'm going to lean toward Brown, plus 1.5, under 126 and a hook. Next game, it is going to be Penn, Cornell, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Cornell's -3, totals 154. And for a team who scores as much as Cornell, 3 points definitely seems like a fairly generous number in this spot. Cornell averages 84 points a game, and they're making nearly 50% of their field goals. Now, Greg Dolan's drilling 56% of his three-pointers, and he's also averaging 13 points a game. Meanwhile, Nazir Williams is scoring over a dozen points a game himself. They're facing a Penn team who lost 3 out of their last 6. That includes losses to the likes of LaSalle and St. Joe's. Now, the Quakers are also allowing plenty of points. These guys are giving up 73 a game. Now, when it comes to the total, no real shocker here. Penn went 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Meanwhile, Cornell saw 5 out of their last 7 get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Cornell -3 over 154. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Stanford taking on Cal, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Stanford's the 10-point favorite. Total's 124. But as bad as Cal's been, I'm not sure there'll be enough points scored in that game to cover double digits for Stanford. To begin with, they're averaging only 68 points per contest, and they've certainly been little threat shooting it from three-land. They're making just 30% of their shots from beyond the arc. They're also facing a Cal team on the other side who does play some pretty solid defense despite their record. Don't let that horrible record fool you. They do tend to, slow things down. They do a good job on defense. They're limiting their competition to only 66 points a game, and they're also holding their opponents to just 30% shooting from downtown. Now, when it comes to offensive production, Devin Askew's averaging a team-high 16 points a game. Meanwhile, Lars Thiemann is scoring a dozen points a night himself. 6 rebounds a game as well for the German. When it comes to the total, Stanford saw unders against the likes of Green Bay, Arizona State, and Memphis. Meanwhile, Cal saw unders against the likes of Utah, USC, and TCU. I'm going to lean toward Cal +10, under 124. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. I like Western Michigan +16 over 155. Cornell -3 over 154. Yale -16 under 129.5. Before we go ahead and move on, guys, one final reminder that I went 4-2 in my 6 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And the only way to access every one of my personal plays is to become a board member on patreon.com/BrockPage. Give me St. Peter's +7.5 over 128. Quinnipiac +1.5 over 141. Iona -12 over 136. Manhattan +2 under 142. Niagara +4 under 123. Brown +1.5 under 126 and a hook. Princeton -11 over 139. Oakland +8 over 131. Wright State -4.5 over 155. Ball State -2 under 133 and under 133.5. And with my next and final free pick for the video, give me Cal +10 under 124. And with that, guys, that is going to do it for me. One final reminder, once again, I went 4-2 in my 6 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And the only way you would have been able to access all of those plays is to become a board member on my website. That board member package gives you access to every single bet, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. It's an all-access, all-inclusive membership that works out to be just $1.66 a day if you sign up here today. And I'll tell you what, at an average of 4 to 6 plays I post a day, you're actually looking at roughly only 33 cents a pick over the course of a 30-day span, give or take. But most importantly here, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on TikTok or YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.